Hi, and welcome to Quick Slant. I'm Scott Zucker along with Zach Dean.
Third time's a charm.
We're here to talk high school football. It's Friday. Zach, you're down at the big matchup with Vito and University. What do you see there?
Yeah, Vito and University going to be a good game. District game. University is 2-0 in the district. Matt Dixon from Atlantic making his return back to the area. He left Atlantic after last year. And Vito coming off a pretty big loss, I remember correctly, from last week against Lake Mary, I think it was. Lake Mary's pretty good as far as district games go. So University, this is one of their 2 home games this year. They play at Pine Ridge, so the University travels really well as far as their fans go. So
They'd have to.
Yeah, they have no choice. So when they do get a home game, it's usually a really good atmosphere there. So University should win this game. I know they put up 60 last year in this game. I want like 60 to 35. I don't know if they're going to put up 60 again, but I can see them definitely putting up north of 40. So University, as far as district games go, this one should be a win, but they still have Seminole and Lake Mary looming. Those are going to be 2 really big games later this month for them. So this should be an easy one. And then as far as future games go, they're going to have to be back to playing some really good football.
Somebody's got to find the answer for Lorenzo Lingard.
Yeah, over almost 400 yards in 2 weeks now.
Amazing.
Three touchdowns. The Miami commit pretty much put the team on his back against Brantley a few weeks ago. Had a 95-yard touchdown run to give University the lead. Last week, I think he had like 150 yards and a couple scores. University hitting on all cylinders right now. Cody Braden, senior quarterback, has 6 touchdowns the last 2 weeks. So offensively, they're doing really well, and defensively, they've been pretty stout all year. So it should be a matchup that favors University. Oviedo may give them a game in the first half, but I expect University to run away from it in the second half. Literally, run away.
Literally. A couple of good matchups featuring local teams. Both of our schools out of Flagler. The surprising FPC team, Travis Rowland doing a good job there in his first season. They take on Deltona.
Yeah, FPC hosting Deltona. Should be a great game. I covered Deltona last week. They got destroyed by Mainland, so I expect them to come out with a better effort. FPC, on the other hand, 5-0, going for a 6-0 start. If they win this game, which they should, that would set up a potentially, because I don't think Spruce Creek plays this week. So that would set up a matchup of undefeateds next week for essentially the district title in 1-8A. So big game for FPC next week, but they can't overlook Deltona. They're going to be looking to turn their season around. They've lost 3 in a row. FPC, meanwhile, hasn't lost. So 2 teams going in opposite directions. FPC, the better team, they should win. That defense has been smothering all year. So they should be able to handle Deltona, but Deltona on the ground can run the ball and can pose some problems. They have a decent defense, still young and growing, but should be a game that favors Flagler Palm Coast as long as they're not looking ahead to next week.
And defense calling card for Rowland.
Yeah, a defense, I believe Chris Boyle was at this game. I think they forced 5 turnovers earlier this week against Seabreeze. So, that defense led by a really good secondary is going to be tough for anybody.
The other matchup worth watching locally, New Smyrna Beach, Matanzas. Matanzas lost that initial game to FPC, and then has reeled off 3 wins since then. Yeah,
Matanzas, and they surprised me a little this year because they lost virtually everybody on that defense last year, and they opened the season with the loss to FPC, but now they've won 3 in a row. And I talked to Robert Ripley last night, and he said they won last week despite not playing very well, and that's when you know you're a pretty good football team. So Matanzas, an impressive month of football games, 3 in a row. Meanwhile, New Smyrna, same boat. They're also 3-1. Both teams 1-0 in the district. They had the big win over Deltona for the district. They were off last week. So New Smyrna's got a really good offense. Matanzas known for their defense, so it's kind of a clash of 2 different styles. And again, I know it's still early, but playoff point's going to come in here because these 2 teams, you got to figure. I know Mainland's a little down this year, but until someone beats them, they're going to win this district. So the winner of this game is going to have a monumental advantage for the rest of the season because right now Matanzas has 39 playoff points, New Smyrna has 36. The winner of this game is going to have that edge at the end of the year, assuming both teams keep winning. So this is a big one as far as postseason goes.
Speaking of Mainland, out of district again this week, going down to a very tough opponent in Cocoa.
Yeah, Cocoa is exceptional. They're the defending state champions in 4A, and they are almost every year. And they have not dropped off a bit. If anything, they've gotten better. I believe they're 7th ranked in the state by Max Preps, 50th nationally. They have a senior running back who has nearly 1,000 yards already through 4 games. Mainland, on the other hand, I would imagine they're going to stick with Richard Kamara, the Minnesota transfer at quarterback. They turned to him last week, and that offense finally started to roll. They won 37-0 over Deltona. They stopped the 2-game losing streak. So if ever Mainland was going to play Cocoa this year, you're going to want it to be now when you're finally got things going back on track. That being said, this is going to be an incredibly difficult game for any team in this state, and much less a Mainland team that's still trying to find itself a little bit right now. I think they started to find that identity last week. That offense just flowed better with Kamara in there. So, but again, on the road at Cocoa, I think this would have been a potentially game of the year for the state of Florida last year. I don't know how competitive Mainland's going to be for all 4 quarters. I wouldn't be surprised if that experience and good coaching carries them through to halftime, maybe the 3rd quarter. But anybody going to Cocoa is going to have a tough time.
Interesting. A change of quarterback can go 2 ways at this point of the year. You know, they had the quarterback they went with in the spring game, and all through the preseason. But Kamara did it for him last week.
And I talked to Scott Wilson last week after the game, and he said the original plan was to roll out Jake Novello and Kamara and just have them alternate series. He said Kamara was just playing so well, they didn't want to take him out. So I don't know if he's going to go in with that same idea this week. I wouldn't be surprised if Kamara sees all the snaps. He looked really good, and he's got that scrambling factor that Denzel Houston had.
He can beat you with his legs a little more than that.
Yeah, he had 3 carries for 51 yards last week, and 2 of them were big, long scrambles for first down. So that's the added dimension he gives you, and that's what Mainland needs to keep the chains rolling.
Taking a look at a couple other matchups. Pine Ridge, Mount Dora, what do you see there?
Pine Ridge started out 2-0. They lost 2 in a row, including a bad loss last week against Seabreeze, where they had the lead in that game, I believe 7-0, or at least 7-7, and then Seabreeze rattled off 3 straight touchdowns. Mount Dora I believe this is their 2nd or 3rd time playing an area team this year. They, I want to say they beat New Smyrna in the preseason and then lost to Deltona week 1. I think that I had that correct. So they're no stranger to these teams. Mount Dora's always a pretty decent team, so Pine Ridge is going to have their hands full, especially being on the road.
Taylor's played very well this season. They had the 1 loss. Welcoming who?
Interlake
in town. Call us at our 800 number if you know where Interlake is located.
Yes. Should be a good game, though. I mean, Taylor going for a 4-0 start last week. They lost to Wildwood in a game that I know Coach Williams wasn't happy about, didn't play well, lost 16-9. Rebounded earlier this week with an easy win over Warner. Taylor, another one of those teams where playoff points are benefiting right now. If the playoffs started today, Taylor down in that 3A region would be in the playoffs. They had the third most points out of 4 possible teams who advanced into the playoffs. So if they started today, Taylor would be in the show. Still a long way to go, but bottom line for Taylor from here on out, as it has been all season, is they just need to keep winning and keep piling up those points. Should win. They should beat Interlake, but it's going to be a close game. Finally,
another local matchup. 2 teams that have struggled a bit in the last couple of years. Seabreeze, which 2 wins this year.
Yep. Going for 3 wins for the first time since 2014.
Impressive.
Yeah.
For the Sand Crabs against an Atlantic squad that's really struggling to rebuild under a new coach.
Yeah, Atlantic, and they have pieces scattered, but they are just so young. I know they've been dealing with injuries this year. They're trying to learn a new system on both sides of the ball. They have just been really, really bad on defense. They've let up 50 or 60 points.
That's what we're saying.
They've struggled. Yeah, and again, I've seen a lot of their games, and it's just the inexperience, it's the youth, it's just they don't have the players they need yet, and they haven't developed the players they have. So it'll be a more competitive game here because Seabreeze, they're no world beaters. Seabreeze should win this game, though, and that'll be good for Troy Cook and the Sand Crabs. 3 wins after only having 4 wins combined the last 2 years would be a nice step in the right direction for that program.
Yeah, building back up to what they once
yeah, I don't know what they once were. I hear they used to be really good, but ever since I've been here, they've struggled.
They have. They have struggled in my time here as well, but I'm told they were really good.
Yeah.
Jeff Weiland, our deputy sports editor, I know, told me that just the other day.
Yeah, our cameraman.
Say hi, Jeff.
Oh, how's everybody doing today?
He's good on the air, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
All right, that'll do it for this week. I usually say. You want to say that?
I think that will do it for this week's Quick Slants. I'll be at the University of Oviedo game. Chris Boyle will be at the Virginia something game because he's out of town this week. So Coverage isn't going to be quite as extensive as it usually is, but I will try to hold down the fort. I know Godwin's going to be at that Matanzas New Smyrna game. You will be at home.
I'll be at home.
Zach, Dean, Scott Zucker, we'll see you next week.